Well, hello. My name is Daddy-O. I do some YouTube and a little bit of Ubering from time to time, but we're going to talk about storefronts today. I've mentioned this in several videos from time to time about how you treat your vehicle that you're doing Uber in and how important it is to think of it as a storefront, your business. And I'm going to go over some of that a little bit today because I get questions from time to time from people that are asking questions that I feel like I've addressed sometimes, but maybe everyone's not getting all the information. So today is going to be about your storefront. Do you treat your Uber as a storefront? In other words, you take all the advantages that you can take as an Uber driver and all the benefits that you can create for yourself as an Uber driver by looking at it as a business. Even if you're doing it part-time, you can still create a business environment when you do things. And by keeping your receipts, all that kind of stuff. If you do it very much, you know to keep your gas receipts, keep your blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's important to think of it just like a guy that owns a business. Across the street from me right now, there's a jewelry store sitting there. There's a place over there where a lot of ladies go in and get their hair done. Right in between that, there's a fitness place where people come to do their exercising and stuff. Those are businesses. A convenience store right over there, car wash, Walgreens. You see what I mean? Those are businesses. Treat your Uber as a business. Even though you're small, you're not a jewelry store. You're not a convenience store. You're not Walgreens, but you still treat and keep the same mentality that those guys have with your vehicle. All right, it will pay off in the long run. And I do a rental. If you've watched me very much, I do an Uber rental. And I've expressed before, I'm not trying to get into the rental vehicle thing today. I've expressed before that that's what helps me with my way I do it. You have to figure out how you want to do your Ubering. But no matter how you do it, I don't care if you're the long haul guy that goes on the long trips. Let me get rid of this gum. If you're the long haul guy that goes on the long trips, you do your Uber one way. If you're the short guy, the guy that only goes out in the afternoons and does it a little bit when he's got time, you go out in the mornings and everything. Still treat your Uber, that period of time that you're doing it, as a business. Keep it clean. Keep it smelling. You've heard me if you've seen any of my videos before. I talk about those things. Those are so important. The jewelry store across the street, the fitness place, the where ladies get their hair done, the beauty salon, the convenience store, Walgreens. They all make sure that their businesses are kept clean. Do the same. They make sure that there's no cigarette smells vaping through their stores. Do the same. They make sure that in some of those places, I know over there, they got music that plays while the customers are inside. They set the mood. I've talked about that before. Treat your vehicle, your little square object that you drive around with the round things on the bottom of it. Treat that as your business. This is your business, and I don't care how much you do it. If you do it like I do as a rental vehicle, or you're doing it in your personal vehicle, if you're doing it full time, if you're doing it part time, get the mentality of this is my business. How can I improve it? Just like those guys do, and those guys do, and those guys down the road do. They all try to improve their business. Make sure things are right for the customers. That's the guys you put in your back seats. That's the guys that you hope at the end of the ride is going to give you a little tip. That's the guys in your back seat that you're hoping at the end of the ride they're going to give you a little 5-star rating. Those are the guys. Those are your customers. Just like the guys that walk in over there want to buy a diamond ring for their wives, or the people that walk into the fitness place wanting to get a little bit healthier, or the ladies that walk into the beauty salon wanting to look a little bit prettier. Are the people that walk into the gas station just wanting a pack of gummies, you know? Walgreens, when they go in to get they treat it, it's a business. Treat your vehicle, that little square object, as your business, and you'll make a success out of the Uber. All right, now I'm not going to get it. Real briefly, I've done high-end stuff before, and I'm just telling you how it should be played if you're wanting to reap all the reward. You want customers coming back. You want them smiling when they get out of the vehicle. In other words, you want people when they get out to say, "Ooh, nice ride, 5-star." You know, they're not coming back to you. You'll probably never ever see that person again. But at that point, they have a chance to rate you, to give you a review, give a review of what they just experienced with you. So while they're in that vehicle, while they're in your back seat, make things right, just like the other stores do. You want people not to come back so much, but to have an experience where they think they need to say something. They need to comment. They need to give you that satisfaction report. They need to give you that 5-star. They need to give you a little something in tip money because you did the little extras. Treat it just like your business, right? Just like these guys do that want people coming back to their stores. We just want a little something on the end of our, saying that we did a good job. That's how we see that we were okay, that we did we did well. So that's what this was about today, because I know some people, and I got a comment from someone talking about how they do, and they try to point, and they were hitting all the highlights that I try to point out the 4 things that I do. So just pay attention to your storefront. This is it for the day. This is what you're going out and representing yourself with. People just don't see the vehicle when it pulls up. They also see you. All right. So the vehicle is representing you in the condition that you're trying to keep it in. Even if it's not in all that great a shape, try to make it better. try to make sure it stays vacuumed. Try to make sure the kids' toys stay out from underneath the seats. When people are riding along, you don't want all of a sudden a squeaky thing come rolling out from behind the seat there. Oh, that's the last customer. Yeah, they had some kids with them. Yeah, you know what I mean? So we've all been there in those situations before when someone's finding something that someone else left behind, and it might have been yours and it might not. You just I can tell you some things that have been left in the vehicles before. Yeah. I've admitted to some and I've denied some others. So just take care of your storefront. That's the key thing with this one today. It represents not just Uber, it represents you as a driver and how you want to be looked at. And that's the key thing out here today is you want to make those tips, you want to get those 5 stars, but it's your storefront, what you drive up in, how it's represented to the customers when they climb in as to what you're going to get on the other end. It's your storefront, it's your business and how you operate it. Treat it as a business, take care of that business, promote your business the best way you can by being out here and going to work. That's the way I do it. That's the way I represent myself. I get out here and show my face. All right, work it. That's what I got to say. Whether you're doing a rental or you're doing your personal vehicle, do the things that it takes to make this work. Uber will work for you. You just got to pay attention sometimes, and your storefront is the biggest place to get started with. So make it happen. All right, Daddy-O out for the day. You guys have a good afternoon, good evening. Bye.